Evening maybe. I don't know what it is. Fire away.
Hey Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Looks like we'll probably go into this game without the 4 top defensive ends you had lined up or what you envisioned in training camp. You just talk about the problems of work, or the challenge of working through that, and when you have a run at one position, what does it do to you as a coordinator as far as compensating with other positions and how you go about it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, David, is, obviously you're losing, 4 good players at basically one spot, and so you try to figure out what these guys can do best, how they can fit in, what they can, how they can work. Last night, Marshawn got hurt in the first, 4 or 5 plays, right? So we end up having to do that. But those guys came in, did nice. I thought Chauncey played well. T. Wheat did a good job. Carl Lawson, I thought he did some good things. Obviously there's a lot of things we have to clean up, but they're all here for a reason.
And do you generally like a 4-player rotation there if you have the healthy bodies, or how do you usually approach it?
Yeah, we try to get, we talked before the game all the time about number of reps we're hoping to get with guys, and obviously it changes by runs and passes and different things, injuries. So we try to get a 4-man rotation, or sometimes 5.
Mike Tyler, with ESPN. What do you make of your on defense performance the last 2 weeks after the New Orleans and Baltimore games?
Yeah, it's a lot better than those 2 for sure. Helen Keller could see that one. We've been working real hard at it and trying to get better at the things that we haven't done well. And I think I might have said this last week. I kind of knew there was going to be a little bit of a lull somewhere at the beginning of the season. Hopefully we can continue to get better. Obviously this team that we're getting ready to play now, they'll test us. That'll be one of those good tests. So we'll have to do a great job this week.
What do you like about Jordan Lewis?
He's a tough little bugger, competitor. Every time I say base personnel, he kind of looks at me like he's mad. He says, I can get in there with those big guys. I said, I know you can, but he's just a tough competitor, good leader, works hard. At practice, he wants to make plays all the time. He's just kind of guy you really like to have.
Saad Yusuf, The Athletic. Mike, what have you made of Amani Oruwariye, just the way he's kind of been called in after Deron Bland, Kalen Carson, you tried Andrew Booth, and now with him, just, how have you seen him respond the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's been a little bit, he came in and obviously they picked on him a little bit last week with the Giants, but this week he was a lot more competitive. He was on top on the routes a lot better this week. I think he just gained some confidence and made a nice tackle on a toss sweep. For coming in and not really being here for training camp and all that, he's done a good job.
And a couple guys on defense, Malik Hooker, DeMarvion, had a couple of chances for interceptions. Is that something that you want to work on in practice to make sure that they finish those plays?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we do every day. We have, ball drills and jugs machines and all that stuff. So, I think there was another one we missed somewhere too. Maybe it was Jay Lou had a chance on a 7-route down on their sideline. But, we're getting close to them. So, hopefully the more opportunities you get, the better opportunities you have to get one.
Joe White, All City Dallas, following on the Jordan Lewis question, just when you have a tough guy like that, how much of a tone setter can that be for a defensive group?
Yeah, it can be, especially when you got, he's not a big stature guy. And, I call him Pitbull because, he'll go in there and he'll fight anybody and do anything. So, he'll mix it up pretty well.
Does he remind you of anyone you've coached previously?
I'm trying to think of, size-wise and tough guys. I don't know. He's kind of his own guy.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, what is the challenge with the D-line injuries of facing the two stylistically different running backs and Gibbs and Montgomery that Detroit's bringing in?
Yeah, again, I've only watched a couple games so far, but it's not only them; it's the offensive line they have is really, really good, and they do a good job in scheming and getting guys reached and cut off, and then these backs can really hit the hole good. So. Again, it'll be a really good test for us, and hopefully we can continue to just keep getting better and better and better as the season goes on.
What is the next evolution in getting better in the run after 2 really good weeks?
Well, I think, the thing I talked to him last week was when you get a single block, let's get off the block and go make a tackle, and I thought we did that better in practice. There was times we could have done it better last night, I guess it was, and there was times we did it okay.
Aaron Cousins, Lone Star Live. What makes Linval Joseph the kind of guy who can do what he's doing at 35 years old?
He's just a man's man. He's tough. He's smart. He's a good leader. He takes care of his body. He's always on the one of the machines down there trying to continue to stay in shape. And he's got great strength. So, the play he made pushing the pocket, I think he told me when we signed him, getting ready to sign him, he was 4 sacks away from 40 or something. So now he's 3. So he's pretty happy about that.
Scott Dixon with BAP. You go in missing a couple of guys, you lose a guy early. Are you a win one for the Gipper kind of fiery, rally the troops kind of coach when you've got that kind of stuff going on, or how do you try to communicate with the guys when it feels like they're dropping like?
I really didn't talk to him too much about that last week. We knew that we were going to be down some guys, but it was really good to see. I thought Chauncey played really well, and Lawson, like I said before, Lawson and T. Wheat. We have expectations that if you're here, you got to go out and play. And, we'll try to help you. We made a couple adjustments during the game to try to help them a little bit in some situations. But, I thought I thought about talking to him about, hey, now's your opportunity and things like that. But I didn't do it last week. Might have to this week.
Joe Triggy at WFA TV. Mike, I'm interested in the first few weeks of the season, how you use that as teaching tape specifically, and were there certain things that you can see guys finally picking up now that really is important to your style of defense?
Yeah, some of it. There's still some times when I'm like, what the heck, what are we doing here? But for the most part, you kind of see a little bit more of what we're trying to do. We had to go through, unfortunately, we had to go through those tapes with the guys and explain to them what they're doing good and what they're doing bad. And I do see guys really trying to do what we're asking them to do. And so, that's a big thing. And I try to point out, when they don't, how it's affecting the linebacker, how it's affecting, the secondary, how it's affecting the guy next to him, because that happens. That happened a couple times last night as well.
And it's not always effort stuff. Sometimes it's just because you're not assigned that sound, it rolls down the hill. And
it's one of those things. Hey, I'm going to go make a play instead of doing your job. So, and really, it really isn't about effort. I mean, obviously we point that out if there is situations like that, but it's just, sometimes guys get frustrated. They're not making a play. I'm going to go make a play now. I'm going to go do this. And then when that happens, if they don't make the play, then a lot of bad areas come up.
Babe Loffenberg, 105.3 The Fan. Mike, this is your first job that you've had.
First job?
Well,
I've had a ton of jobs.
Let me
I think.
finish.
Okay.
After you've been a head coach. So when you're coordinating in Atlanta and Cincinnati, and I'm sure you thought, well, boy, if I ever become a head coach, I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you become a head coach, and now you're back in that coordinator role. So what perspective has that given you, kind of knowing what that head coach needs from you after being a head coach yourself?
That's a good question, babe. A little complicated, but I think for me, because I was always the coordinator as well, and when I was the head coach, I'm kind of doing what I've been doing all along. Mike and I meet every week. We talk about the game management, game time things, and things like that. So I'm just trying to do my best to get these guys to play good, to be honest with you, and keep getting better each and every week. That's really all I'm trying to do. And obviously, if it's a situation where we gotta go make a play, then I'm gonna understand that and try to do those things.
All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.